Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to Sahuaritacasita. It's Brenda Schweder here back on a Thursday to talk to you and show you another simple bail. This is the IceTong bail for making simple pieces of jewelry. If you are into simple, minimal, and that's your thing, or every once in a while it's your thing, or it's your customers or your marketplace's thing, it's the place to do it. And the cool thing about this is that they are so customizable, and I'm just going to show you how to do it with a couple different pliers and wave straighteners and cutter. If I can find my cutter, there it is. My lovely cutter, which means this is a great time to segue to our sponsor. Our lovely sponsor. Is that the right one? No, that is not the right one. That is this one up here. I changed it so now it looks different. Okay, here we go. Is that it? No, that's not. It's a hammer. For Pete's sake, here we go. Here's our friends from Zuran. Hi, Araceli. I was just cruising my phone to be able to set this all up because, you know, my one phone is my camera here, and I think I saw a pretty picture of a puppy. So darn cute. Hi, Chris. Chris, are you on a break or are you working from home? I need to talk to you. So, welcome everybody. It is 2 o'clock Mountain Time or Arizona time, and who knows what it is all around the world with you guys, right? Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. But it's beautiful here again today. At first I thought I had to set the casita height up, and I think I did, but then it warmed up today, so it's very nice here. Come on out. I hear there's just patches of snow in the eastern areas and Midwest. Still home. Get better. Like me. I'm nursing this hip since April. Good golly. Anyway, so big news on the Tucson front. I've been kind of teasing you and saying I was going to be doing some things during the Tucson Gem Shows here, which for those of you who don't know is just this sort of huge amalgamation of all kinds of different shows. I know Chris has been there, and I think Araceli, you have been there. Ruth, I know we met in person at the Tucson Gem Shows. But looks like pretty much everything has moved 10 weeks out to April. Speaking of April, and that's what it's going to be now. So no Tucson Gem Show. It's going to be so weird being in Tucson in early February and not going to a show. I think I'm just going to have to turn my whole bodily rhythm around. I'm going to be like, I mean, everything. It's like when you live in Milwaukee and the Bead and Button Show is how you kind of like calendar your whole life around, and now it's not. So there we go. Anyway, so welcome. I am happy to be here. This is going to be a very simple tutorial, which means that we get to love on our Zuran people. There they are, up in there, still up in there. So that is what I like about this one, is that we're going to be able to do a little bit more in depth talking about this stuff, and you know, just a whole bunch of different things. Hi Terry, I'm so glad you made it today. She warned me this morning. Hope to see you, and I'm glad you got your piece, your vortex piece. That was a lot of fun to do. So guys, I have been getting back in the studio a little bit more, and I am almost done. Here it is over here. Let's actually show you this piece. Nice picture of my upper chest there. So this is, the red is almost done, and I'm looking for a little plush. The only thing I need to add to it is this, every one of these mop heads from the Juice Cap series. Here's the Juice Cap. Here's the inspiration. Got every one of these pieces. Now this is the fourth one that's done. I'm slowing down a little bit. has a plush animal, like a little whatever, a little baby plush animal, stuffed animal. But you can kind of see, I just kind of like putting different things together here. That's kind of one of the things I love, you know, is just kind of like discovery. This was a little, probably like a little cap to some sort of like tank of some sort that I found out in the back of my casita, and this, you all know what this is, right? Like milk jugs. So these went together. Basically everything has something else with it, you know. Right down here, I had this piece of chain here, and so the key for the owl went on, but then the owl also has a little button. Let's see if I can get you seeing this here. Isn't that cute? So, you know, and I think that's probably why these are going, I gave my share. Good old owl. He's a wise owl. And this guy here is a little toy. You know, I'm big on putting toys in my stuff. And there's a little, it's always backwards. A little, some sort of insect on that apple. So just a bunch of stuff. Always, always, always. There's pencils. Where's the pencil? There's a couple of pencils in this one. And there's spoons. Where's the spoon? Sometimes they get hidden. There's the spoon, and this spoon I added. It's the little mini clothespin with a little game piece here, a little A game piece here. I'd say there's another one. And always, 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 there is some sort of like electronics tie that when unfurled can become the necklace. Big piece. So very sculptural, also can be put on its own stand. 4 out of 8 are done. I have a call for entries of, here's what, you guys, if you are in Wisconsin and you are a part of the Wisconsin Designer Craft Council, they have a call for entries. And this time it's going to be at Alverno, but basically I think if you are a WDCC member, you get in, I think, to the show. And so their theme this year, you know, I do this every year, is COVID related stuff. So I mean, just pick a theme. Black Lives Matter, you know, COVID, fires, how isolation has affected you. Toilet paper could be your theme. So I'm going to be probably entering that. And so then, you know, if I have a deadline, it's January 4th. I got something to shoot for, which means 4 more of these in just a couple weeks. So wish me luck. We'll see. This is also a piece that I'm almost done with, and I'll show you. This is my Jelly Belly locket, and it's, gosh, what did I call it? I think I called it Happy Birthday, Little Savior, Love, Hugs and Kisses, Santa Claus. And so you open it. It's definitely wacky, like you know. So there's religious icons, there's Christmas icons all around. Here's Santa on top. And this is the necklace piece, and then you open it up for all this kind of fun Santa stuff. Let's go to this top down thing, because I think maybe you can be able to see this a little better. We'll get rid of this and this, and so you can kind of see this a little better. But I just thought it was fun. I was like, why in the world am I saving these? But it just seemed like when I was doing the red piece, what happens is like I offshoot. Hi, Laura. I offshoot a lot of other things, and this piece came out of it because, you know, there were way too many red things. But here's Santa, and here's hands, and then of course this is what the theme all came from, was those Merry Christmas. But then I was like, hey, happy birthday, and I can do a little bit of a rosary in here. Here's our Christ guy. And then because I had to kind of hide some of the things that I was doing up on top, like this. Hi, Liam. My kiddo is coming to the door. And then, yeah, you know, Christmas everywhere. And so in here, I put a little wooden snowflake and a little metal rocking horse charm. I mean, what else do you get for Christmas? And then these tiny little vintage, little glass blown pieces in here. So all I have left to do is to sign it, and I'm going to use this piece on the back. I didn't even think of doing this for you today, but I knew we had a little bit more time, so I'm going to sign it. I've been signing with collage pieces lately, so I have this little piece of a German Bible, and I'm going to put this in here. Here's a beautiful picture of Christ. And and on top of here, I've got, this is the part of the rosary, but also this is from charm bracelets. Remember in the charm bracelets, I don't know if you guys had these, if you're old enough, or maybe one's been passed down to you. This is from the Wisconsin Dells, where they have a lot of these little, there's like a lot of, can you see that? It's a little blurry. A lot of deer up there, and I'm going to take my red nail polish and just make his nose red. So that's all I have to do there, do that red and sign it, and this piece will be done and on the site to SELL. So you remember those little owl keychains, right? I know, they're so much fun. So who knows what I have in my stash, and it just keeps adding and growing and growing. I've been putting a lot more single-use plastics into it. You've been seeing that in some of my work lately. But yeah. So Laura, he reminds me, Laura does beautiful, beautiful glass work, and she has done some donations. She and I and Tammy Hahnemann and a couple other people were inducted into the Beads of Courage Hall of Fame. Such an honor to have that bestowed upon me and us. I think you'll agree, Laura. And so, Laura, you should participate with us in this new Beads of Courage collaboration that we're doing. And I just kicked it off last week. You guys remember that I kind of went through my de-stash and stuff, my stash, and I'm de-stashing all these things. Half of these things are gone already, you guys. Thank you so much. They're on my Etsy site, www.brendaschwederjewelry.etsy.com. And golly, and I've got so many people that have already signed up. I'm always interested to see who picks what, because this one's a little bit different. As you know, in the past, we've done session 1 was all about taking this this TV tray apart, and all the pieces were made into elements, which I'm now going to make all into jewelry, because we just need more things to raise money for Beads of Courage. I think that's what I'm doing. And then the second one was all about juice caps, which I guess I lost those pictures from in here, my little reservoir of pictures here on my Switcher studio. So, and then the third one is this de-stash stuff here. So hopefully you can join us. We would absolutely adore it if you did, as all of you guys. I hope that you did if you haven't already signed up. So I did talk to Jean Gribben. She remembered her name this time. Thank you, Jean. She is the executive director and the author, the originator of Beads of Courage, right up here in Tucson. I'm pointing up the road. And she said, yeah, let's go ahead and do something during the gem show time frame. I have yet to get back to her now that all the gem show has moved up the road to April, but we'll see. We are still going to, hopefully you get this piece done, and I put it up before Christmas, knowing that this is always kind of a bubbly time for all of us, but you have until basically the end of January to get your things back to me. And when I send them out, I'm sending them out this afternoon. I just kind of wanted to wait for a number of you to get them in. I will give you my address. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that down to remind myself. Address to collaborators. And yeah, so please do that. We have so many things between all three. So 3 sessions of this, and that's what we wanted, is a whole mass of things that we can auction off online And then we'll probably do some kind of live broadcast with Jean. Maybe we'll go up to Tucson. Maybe she'll come down here, depending, and just make a whole lot of money for the beads of Courage Kids. So, yeah, but let's get going on what. So I thought I want to give you guys some ideas of what to do for you with these things. And you, by the way, Susan Legaiter, I love Miss Susan. There you are. Hope everyone's having a great day too. Susan's idea was, hey, can I use something from my own stash? I'm like, of course, if you don't. If you have a lot, which I'm sure a lot of you do, or if you go online to my stuff and you find anything interesting or that you want to scoop it up, you can do that too. So, yes, sirree. So what I thought we would do is I wanted to show you where the idea for this came from. And since I'm trying to do a lot more things without the JIG, since there's so many people, like a couple people a week, where can I get this tool? I'm like, oh, I can't right now. Someday again. Anyway, so I wrote this little book. It'll be 10 years now, you guys. 2011, this book came out, Steel Wire Jewelry. So proud. This is one of my favorite books that I've written. Art Jewelry and Beading, my editor, Martha Levan, who owns Mora Gallery right now. I think that's in, I always get the Carolinas mixed up. One of the Carolinas. Anyway, so Steel Wire Jewelry, and this was pre-jig, because the jig came out in 2012. This one was published in 2011. So I thought, this is such a good, and these pieces are so timely. And I do remember that this piece that we're going to look at here was on page 84, and I did take a picture for you guys. So this is the tongs bail, and I call this the IceTongs tutorial, because what I love about this one is that, as I said in my blog today, if you guys read that one, or you'll go back depending when you went out, probably about 10:30. Anyway, so what I love about this particular bail system is that it is great for single objects. I mean, you can use this and put it in, I could have used this in my mop head series and still, done all these, but it also just showcases a drilled or kind of a side drilled, half drilled object very, very easily. And this is one that's kind of like, gosh, I don't want this beautiful whatever it is, fossil. These happen to be fossils, found object, whatever they are. It works really well for natural objects that are drilled, but also for cabochons that are sort of drilled near the top so that they're not so sort of top heavy. Or any number of things. This is what it looks like without. So you're basically sort of building this bail that's it's going to stay together because of the twist on top, you guys. And then you have these open ends that can kind of go and get dug into the sides of things, and you kind of just gauge that as you go. So I thought, oh, I forgot to load this one. Anyway, I have it right here, right down here. This one I just whipped up this morning. By the way, this is the book right here, my book. But how fun is this? And I work in steel, so I just had to do it in steel. But you could do this in any copper. You could color. You could even get, your para wire, your colored enamel wire going here. And I'm going to show you. This one these are just like very lightweight ethnic beads or elements somehow. But this is how it comes apart, okay? And you can see how easy that was to do. And this is the piece right here. Right, so darn simple. So I thought what we would do is we would work with some of these guys. Aren't these glorious? Really pretty. And then I'm going to show you, you might think, okay, so what we're going to end up doing is going sideways. And the beautiful, I mean, this is beautiful here too, but the most beautiful part of this, see that little tiny hole in there? is the front or the back. And I'll show you how to adjust to do that. So much information packed into this particular show. Hi, Carlene. Hi, honey, how are you doing? So good to see you here. So let's kind of push these off. What I thought we would do is just kind of start by doing a little bit of sketching. And, just let's pick any one of these. Let's pick one that is a little easier to do maybe. So, so we have, and I'm just going to, sketch out a little bail there. And then we'll just kind of like do a little bit of a, twist here. You can see, looks like I have to draw a little bit heavier. And so that's kind of a bigger bail. And so what I'm going to be doing is using a heftier steel wire. Now I'm going to be using 18 for this. You could also go up to a 16, I think, with this heavier of a piece. This particular one was 18, and I think it did well. And I think it would do well. You can kind of test here and say, it'll be fine. We could also go up a gauge to 16. Now remember, when you're working with non-ferrous, you're going to go, this would be the equivalent of a 16 right here. Okay, so non-ferrous is always one even gauge up, one even gauge, like +2, up from where you are. So if you were using copper, you'd use 16 copper, silver, gold, whatever, platinum, whatever you're going to use, or craft wire. Now, to use craft wire on something like this, where it's really going to be, need to really work on this, you will need to use something that is a bigger gauge, a 16, a 14, maybe even a 12, because all of craft wire is dead soft. Okay, it's the opposite of steel, where basically you don't even have to work hard in this in order to get it to stay stiff enough to hold something like this. Now this is a rock, right? So everything you're going to do is not a rock and heavy as a rock, but you got that kind of consideration to think about. Alrighty. Oh, and I remembered last week, here we go. This is what we did last week. Remember, this was just an easy bail. This was the simple frame bail that we did. So watch last Thursday's, or yeah, if you wanted to just do with something like this. I think there's one of these left, or did someone scoop this up already? I think maybe someone scooped it up. Yes, I remember Michelle did. Not Michelle, Catherine. Catherine did. So, but if you have something like that, you can definitely, hi Mary Lynn, how are you, my love? Golly, got some lovely lovelies coming back here to see. So, okay, so let's back to the sketching. I'm going to get my craft optics out and get to this. And this might be a little bit big of a bail here, but you kind of get the idea of what we're going to be doing. And what I want to do is I'm just going to work around it because I want it to be big enough. Oh, you know what? Okay. We're not going to be doing this one this way because we have this to work with. This is a natural object. You guys will be using, that's looks like it's been, just sort of drilled into in a very naive way from both sides. But so we're going to work this one this way, okay? And so I'm just going to get my nose up here above it, and I'm going to do this around here so I know that I have enough room, okay? And so you know that it can go within this. It also provide kind of a fidget piece if you wanted it to. Excuse my sniffy. And so basically I want to build something that is kind of like this, right? This right here. And I like to, and especially with this piece, there's going to be a lot of area. Probably what I'll do is I will cut them both really close to here and have that going on. Okay, so how do we how do we go about this? So I'm going to take a round nose pliers. I'm going to take my heavy duty cutter. This is our Xuron cutter, guys. And the only reason I'm using this other brand of round nose is that Xuron agrees that their round nose is really more of an oval nose. And so we're going to be using, we need a round bail up there. I would like a round bail. And most of all of these, if you guys start doing these and you know that this is your shtick, you'll get really good at this. But I'm just gonna kind of unroll about a dozen inches. Wow, a foot of wire. My brain just did that, a dozen inches. And you're gonna take a wire, straightener. I usually like to give myself like a little bit of a handle here. And I'm just going to go here and here and here and just now steel is going to take a few passes, whereas any other wire that you've got, it wouldn't need quite as many passes, but we're straightening this up to start. Now if you were to do this on a jig, you guys, basically this is kind of a fun, you're like, what is she doing there? She never uses these. I never wire straighten things beforehand, but since we're doing, ooh, it's nice and warm. Since we're doing this more freehand and we don't have the forms of the jig to be able to form against, the pucks and the pegs, we definitely want to have a nice wire that we can just sort of like manipulate easily and straightly to begin with. So I'm going to go down to the biggest part of my round nose pliers. This one happens to have a nice wire straightening thing on the side. I'm kind of digging that. And we're going to go as far as I can get down here. There is a little bit of a hole down here that I want to make sure that I'm not hitting. Otherwise the wire will go into there. And I'm just going to form this up and around. I can actually go down and use the biggest part of the pliers that I possibly can. Okay, you can kind of see that pretty well, I hope. And then I'm using this hand as a vise, and since I'm doing that, I want to work pretty quickly because I don't want to keep this in such a tense position. I'm just going to tightly grab this and just go around 2 half turns. If I want, I can pick up my, is this my flat? No, I think this is you can either take a flat nose or a chain nose and just give this a little bit more of a twist. So that would be like 3. And so I'm getting a little bit more of a good bend in there, a tight bend. All right. So there it is. There is your round nose bail, or your round nose bail. Here's your bail, and it's pretty darn close to what I've got up here. I usually like to take, if I'm doing things off jig, I'm usually trying to take and, boy, where is my flat nose? That must be it. Yep, here's my 485 flat nose. There we go. These are all Xuron tools, you guys. Here, let's spread some Xuron love again if I can find it. Where did it go? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's a hammer. Here we go. So many options. So I'm just going to kind of just like straighten this out a little bit. Even my wrap got a little wonky there when I straightened it up, but that's okay. And the cool thing is that these are all going to look hand done and so darn fun just by being hand worked, right? Here, let's grab this. Okay. It's a little wonky, but we can kind of mess with that too in a little bit. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to, once I had my drawing, just kind of move this, and you can see how the steel, even though it's stronger, it is really malleable. Even though it doesn't start in a a noodle, a soft state, but it is very, it's called in the industry, the nickname for it is bend and stay wire. If you're using steel and you want to, where'd I put it? Mark this here. You can do that with a chalk pencil, or you know, grab this, a pencil from your kids' art kit. And I'm just going to go along that area, right? I'm going to put it in here again using this hand. The left hand is my left hand. You want to use it your right hand because I'm left-handed as a vise, and I'm just going to make that. You saw what I did. I used that powerhouse thumb to make that pretty much a right angle right in there. And I'm going to kind of see where I like that other one here, down here. I'm going to match it. So I know where I want to bend, right here. Let's get this one down here so you can see. I know where I want to match it. I'm holding it, this one. So I'm not doing anything with this one, but I'm just bending this where I want that to go. Okay. And then that gives that a really nice thing. Now when I move this one away, I kind of messed with that, but let's put it down here and see how well I did. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here and just kind of mark that in the middle, because remember what I said is I just want to make sure that's almost touching, because I think this is the one that I was doing, yeah, because this is going in a lot, and I want that as much steadiness as I possibly can. Okay, steadiness, support. How's that? Okay, always with the back end of this where you want. So I'm going to open this up like a jump ring, and where I want this to go, right here, I put it right up there. I want this end to be the flat end, which is why I have, remember, the garbage in the hole. So I'm going to hold both, get rid of that, and see, that way I have that really nice flat end there. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. See how I switched this so that the flat end was on that side now, and my garbage piece is in the hole. Okay. Here we go. Get rid of that wire right away. And so there I have that lovely thing that I drew, and it came to life. So let's get rid of this, and then we'll put this guy up here, our trusty block, and we'll bring now I can use my Now That's a Hammer. This is the #1 riveting hammer on my bench block on steel, because I got the set's original ones that work on steel, but not the ones that are available now do not. Alrighty. Okay. All we're doing is we're going to kind of pound the flatness out. Flatness into it. This is also hardening the wire, as you guys know. Okay. And there we have a flattened, hardened piece. Okay. Which again, steel is not as important on, but you still want to texture and forge that wire so we have some beauty to it. I've been using this little old brush from a shoe sign kit, but you guys might have, you've seen me do steel wool before. You can do like a brass brush, or just a brush that I've gotten at, oh my gosh. Oh, what is the name of it? And this is basically just sort of like reverse patining it. It's kind of bringing up those highlights, especially in this in this area right here. You can kind of see that sun, that, you know, the light bouncing off of this area here. So this is getting this all done. Now you would also take and cover this with a little tiny bit of Renaissance wax. We don't need to do that right now because we have done that a million times before. And here's where I'm going to get to tweaking this a little bit. I want to pull this. See how it's kind of like just kind of going, toppling over here a little bit. And in order to do that, I'm just going to hold this guy and get in here. You know what? Let's do that with a tweezer nose, chain nose, so we can get in there. And I'm just going to tweezer that back a little bit. I can make these little tweaks to this still. Oh boy, a little bit of blood. It's just like what? Okay, so you probably don't want to use, where is my, here are my wipes over here. Or where did I put them? Always have your wipes handy. I guess I got a little too close to my my finger. It's funny because when I teach, I almost never is anyone ever injured, but I am. Aloe scent, very nice. Okay, and actually we probably don't want. Now here's the deal with steel, guys, right? We don't want any blood on our stuff, but if you clean it off right away, maybe with your shirt, while no one's looking, dry it off, it should be fine. Because you know rust and steel don't, or water and steel don't go together very well. Okay, so let's get this in here and show. Isn't this looking good already? So I'm basically just going to pull this apart. I can kind of tease it, or what I can do is I can pull it apart like a jump ring, right? And I'm just going to fit that in there. Like so. Now, this particular one, I can get it to go all the way through because that little hole was just big enough, believe it or not, for 18 gauge wire. So I want to just have this sort of in here nicely. And you can see, there we go. And it is free to roll in here. And you might like it facing this way. I think what I would do is maybe even have them overlap a little bit, because they can go, or have one come this way or that. But here we've got a gorgeous pendant, right? And working really well that way. Now, I want to straighten this out a little bit. I teased you and I said, guess what? So this one doesn't look at all like these other ones here, where they're coming down just like a true IceTong would, right, from the sides. But because of the way that this particular piece was made, you know. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to give that another little thing from halfway. And it actually depends too on how your bail is going to be set, you know. And it's a little bit crooked, so we might want to just kind of like tease that back up a little bit. You know, there's always tweaks that you can do with wire work. I'm going to get this in here and straighten that out a little bit. And for this particular one, I might even switch this up. This was actually not the best one to do this kind of and this kind of work with, but you get the idea here. So we're just going to make sure that as I am switching this around, so now this one has a really big twist here. As I was tweaking too far. and we've got this beautiful pendant. You know, and actually it looks like it might almost go all the way. It's just going to go some of the way because it's not complete, it's natural. So it's got a thicker part right here than here, but it's kind of pretty, I think, right down there. So, and let me just show you again how we would put this back together. So you probably, probably just want to take, just some sort of like really simple string through here. And with this one, what I did was, again, you want to pull this apart like a jump ring. And this is just, there's no particular top or bottom. I'm just going to kind of put this in here. There we go. And I am going to figure out where my center point is here. Now, generally, I don't know that I would use the midpoint if something was so heavy that it's going to just flop all the time, right? You'd probably want to choose a point that was like a third of the way from the top. So it's not this because it's a pivot, right? But this piece is so light. You can see here that I can just actually just do this, and I'm going to find my center point, and I cut these a little bit differently than I did that. I cut them on an angle, so it was a little bit more of a pokey point in there. Here's our chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to sort of force it a little bit through that fabric, and there we go. And again, the tweaking and all that kind of stuff, but basically I kind of like have a little bit too much of a shoulder there, and I've got this in, but what a cute way to have a really simple pendant for, someone who enjoys a lot of color, who enjoys fiber, that type of thing. I got these from a vendor at, look at all these. I know I got these from a vendor at what is that show that's over at the casino? Wow, it's been a whole year and I'm not remembering, but pretty fun, huh? Look at all that color and just really nice stuff. So I think I've used those in a live before, they just keep coming back. The beads that keep on giving. I can see having longer wire on each side, coiling it up against the stone. Yeah, for this one, almost like a tong, right? I mean, like a salad tong or something like that. Is that what you mean? That would be so cool. Cool. You'd be twirling it all the time. That is not part of the design. I missed that, so sorry. But Colors of the Stone, thank you, Ruth, the one that we met at in person. Yes, Colors of the Stone. So, yes, so simple, so you could do this with a spool, you could do this with other things, and it works especially well when you don't have something that is drilled all the way through. That in our world of manufactured and kind of elements that are readily available for sale is not so much, but it's just kind of a different way of thinking about making up a very quick kind of bracelet or piece. So let's get rid of that. I'm just looking in here and some of the things that we could possibly do that way. Oh my goodness, a lot of things that are in here are drilled already, very much drilled already, or have bales. So, but I'm sure you have things at home. Susan, have you picked your thing or things that you're going to do for this particular collaboration? I cannot wait to see. I mean, some of these things you basically just put on a chain and there they go. So, were the color beads, hi Becky. No, they are just a very lightweight fiber. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It looks a little polymerish, doesn't it? But it's all fiber, all threads. And you can kind of see how, I mean, polymer would be light as well, but you can kind of see just how it kind of bounces, that it's not, it is fiber in it. The core must be, I don't know what, foam maybe. It's kind of dense, so who knows. But I knew I bought all of those because they were so cool. This is just another simple way of doing some things too, and I want to show you some pieces back here. Can you see me? That I did some really simple things that aren't IceTong challenges, but I've been doing these really simple things like with Skittles and stuff like that for those ladies and gents that like very, very simple things. And this is actually two around here. Let's go down to the down area. And then this is the Skittle that I just drilled just to the side and just knotted it very simply, because it's just such a lovely minimalist form. And then I did, you know, my single stitch crochet with just a little bit of hishi for interest in it. And sort of the same thing with this one. I knew I couldn't do exactly the same, but I drilled, can you see under here, did these a couple months ago and just knotted these underneath so that they were nice and tight against here. And it's just very, very interesting shape, you know, and did the same thing here. So I think some of these minimal things very much just need a minimal but interesting necklace part. So that's what I think, and I'm sticking to it. Susan, I have 2 pair of earrings to make and 3 rings to make by the weekend. Oh, Christmas. I hope those are Christmas consignments. But I bought a bunch of fun stuff at Antique Shop that I will choose from. What? Susan, is that you? Is that you out there working with found objects? Tell us more. What did you get? I'm going to be posting probably on tonight or Monday's blog some of the things that I've got recently. You're just going to, you're going to laugh and you're like, oh, that's so Brenda. It is a pair of tiny salt shakers that are housed in a camel, 2-hump camel, dromedary, and what else? A pair of old vintage glasses and 2 American Indian plastic native dolls. And Susan and Becky will say, that's going to be an interesting thing. What will our friend Teresa Ferris think about those? And there's those because Teresa's indigenous. She's a Sami descendant. And so she is always very, how do I put this, very sensitive to our Native Americans and our indigenous peoples of anywhere in the world, and what jewelry, sometimes using found objects like that, can be very, very touchy to those tribes and things like that. Yes, right. I'm really thinking about what I would do with those. It was different than what I would have done with them before we chatted with Teresa. So, dogs, not dog. Wait, what did you say? Dogs. Oh, just joining in. Had to get the dogs box from Playtime. Oh, back from Playtime. Hi all. Hi Sandy. I got your text tonight, your message. That was so very sweet. And what else did I get? One other thing. Oh, I love salt shakers because, you know, I like to do that friend series types of things where I have two of things, then I can make one for one person, one for another thing. So I got some salt shakers, and you're gonna just laugh. They are vacuum cleaner salt shakers. I say hashtag bring the salt shakers back. I love salt shakers. My brother's significant other, we tease them that they're not married yet. Susan has a salt shaker collection. She's not getting mine. Salt shakers everywhere. Aha, there. I remember to hear that. I forgot to show you this. This is what we did kind of 2 weeks ago, and that's what Terry was talking about. I made 2 of those for gifts because I had a little quiz. You never know what's going to pop up in my quizzes. So, yeah. So guys, so there will be one more live next Thursday before Christmas. Wait, we should do something special. Christmas is on what, Saturday? Is Friday Christmas Eve? It's like, it could be tomorrow and I still wouldn't know. I'm just not tuned into holidays at all. It's not my shtick. People like Candy are much better at doing that. I'm just like, huh? Oh yeah, Christmas is next week. What a dork. Anyway, thanks so much, you guys, for coming. I hope this was helpful. Oh boy, please do share if you think someone would benefit from this. And you know, it always helps me if you share, and I'd love you forever if you do that, because this is what helps me to keep doing what I am doing. And don't forget, our Now That's a Hammers are available at www.fretsdesign.com, or please, we have a new distributor. Please take a look at www.ottofrei, OTTOFREI. I have to look in the back of my head to see that spelling.com. There are new distributors, and I know they're already on their second big order from Frets. So thank you. Everything's working out. Yeah, so don't forget, these make lovely, lovely, lovely Christmas gifts for you and yours. All right, my loves. I gotta get going. I gotta get my tree trimmed. I actually did buy a Christmas tree yesterday, and I gotta get those pieces that you all ordered out. So please do remember, get your elements or work from your own stash, your D-stash, and make up a piece that'll be due at the end of January for the Beads of Courage kids. And we'll just continue to give you new inspiration until we get there on how to work with all of those things. Mary Lynn says, Christmas is, oh, okay. So I'm glad I caught you today. Okay, well, I will still do a show on Christmas Eve. We'll do something fun. And so we can be together. If you can't catch me, if Christmas Eve is your big day, then watch the repost, and that'll be just fine as well. But for those of you who I won't see that day, or I won't catch you until later on, have a very blessed Christmas. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, which is going on now. I believe it's still Festival of Lights. Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Have a happy one, okay? All the happies, yeah. Love you guys, and see you later. Adios.